Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Federal Cogni, the boardroom series. Tata Sons chairperson N. Chandrasekharan, who recently addressed the shareholders of TCS, aptly said that generative AI is not just another tech wave, but it's a civilizational shift. At the Federal, we strongly resonate with this perspective. We believe in harnessing the best of artificial intelligence to not just inform, but also to inspire. Welcome to Cogni, our exclusive boardroom series, where thought leaders, industry veterans, and domain experts come together to discuss, debate, and decode the transformative impact of artificial intelligence on the corporate world. But before we dive into these thought-provoking conversations, let's begin with a few opening words from our news editor, Ms. Indira Balaji, on why the Federal and why Cogni. Ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Vijay. Good evening and a very warm welcome from the Federal. Now, let me take you back a moment. The internet was launched in the 1960s, but the first killer app came in the 1990s. Can you guess what it was? It was the email. Yes, it was the email. This one simple tool completely changed the way people sent letters, shared photographs, planned holidays, reached out to customers, and it was almost for free. Hotmail came in 1996, and the rest, as I say, is history. Today, artificial intelligence is having its own Hotmail moment. Two big developments in recent years have pushed AI into the mainstream. The first is the rise of generative AI apps, your ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, and so on. Suddenly, AI is now accessible to anyone with a device and a very basic internet service. The second big thing happened on a vastly different plane. The AI took center stage at the 2024 Nobel Prize ceremony. On December 10th last year, AI was all over Stockholm. And how did that happen? John Hopfield and Geoffrey Hinton received the Physics Nobel for their work in neural networks. And Demis Hassabis and John Jumper won the Chemistry Nobel. What did they do? They used AI to solve a 50-year-old challenge in protein folding. The world had to sit up and take notice. As Sundar Pichai puts it, AI could be a truly big disruptor, as big as the internet, as big as electricity, and maybe even fire. Meanwhile, in the corporate world, AI has quietly climbed the ladder. It's not just bots tackling customer service or sending promotional emails or crunching sales numbers. Today, AI sits in the boardroom, shoulder to shoulder with decision makers. Across the world, AI is helping CXOs with insights, forecasting, thinking, and even course correction. And yet, in India, the media coverage of this shift has been rather muted. We talk about the ethics, we talk about the job losses, we talk about morality, we talk about regulation, everything related to AI. But then, what about the real world operational impact? What does AI mean for decision makers? How much should CEOs trust it? How far should they go and where should they hit pause? Who do they loop in and who do they keep out of decision making? And then there's a $1 billion data question. Who feeds the data? How much goes in, and what about the security of this data? These are questions that business leaders, not just in India, but worldwide, are struggling with. Let's look at some numbers here. A Gartner report for 2025 says 77% of CXOs are rebuilding their businesses around AI. And a Wall Street Journal, again from this year, says 75% of global CEOs plan to increase their AI budgets this year. And then there is a Harris poll which says over 70% of CEOs are worried that they might lose their jobs in 2 years unless they're able to deliver AI-driven gains. And there's one more telling survey, this is from IBM, which says 2/3 of global CEOs are going for the next tech just to avoid falling behind. And that is not strategy. It is fear of missing out. FOMO. So, the real question for you, should you embrace AI out of FOMO or through foresight? Should it be a rushed response to your competition or a carefully planned step towards transformation? And that is why we are here. At the Federal, we don't just see, report, and move on. As an independent media house committed to insightful, balanced journalism, we want to start meaningful conversations with you. That's the purpose of the Federal's Cordially series, a platform to explore how AI is being adopted, adapted, and governed by real-world decision makers. Today's event, AI in the Boardroom, is the first in this series. And there's no better group to get started with than you all. CXOs, CEOs, innovators, thinkers, change makers, and so on. Now, a quick word about the Federal itself. We are a digital-first media house with a growing footprint. We have some top-notch journalists on the team, and we have some brilliant columnists from across the country writing for us. Apart from the national edition in English, we have 4 regional editions, 2 in Telugu, 1 in Hindi, and 1 in Kannada. Our website and YouTube channel are designed for readers and viewers who want clarity and no clutter. No noise, no spin, just honest, intelligent journalism. And we go beyond the usual politics, sports, and entertainment coverage. We offer our readers insightful articles on education, health, economics, policy, gender, technology, and so on. Some of our recent deep dives on topics like the NEET controversy, the new education policy, the 3-language formula, and delimitation have stood out in the Indian media landscape for their depth and neutrality. In 6 years since inception, the Federal has expanded at a robust pace in the digital field. This move to in-person events is a natural evolution for us. We want to meet our readers, listen to their thoughts, and kindle ideas together. So, once again, thank you for being here. We hope this evening sparks some conversation, some debate, some questions, and maybe even some answers. Let's get started.
Thanks very much for your opening remarks, Imam. I would now like to request Group Captain Mr. Vijay Kumar to share a few words. Sir, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed a privilege when I was asked how can we collaborate for this. Before they could even think what I'm going to say, I jumped. Because MMA will run miles and because as long as we can share the knowledge with large number of our members. Just to say about MMA, established in 1956, we have over 9,000 members, we have got over 12 chapters, and we do some 800 events in a year, some 4 lakh people watch our program. Why I'm telling all this is collaboration like this, what makes us really, really visible at various places. And we are indeed related privilege. Srinivasan, thank you so much being part of taking MMA as part of the team, and we reach out. Thank you, a large number of viewers, our members watching it live on MMA channels. And AI, we have done a lot of work on AI, and we do a lot of seminars, conclaves, and today I don't think we can do anything without AI. All our technology, what you use in MMA is AI. And Chennai should be the AI because ultimately Chennai, the last word finishes with AI. I think everything will happen only in Chennai. So that's the reason I was so happy to be part of the thing. Very warm welcome to each one of you, and it's indeed a privilege to have you with us. Keep coming to MMA, and it will be a pleasure to host you here whenever you come. We've got phenomenal facilities of 24,000 square foot, multiple classroom, state-of-art library, and it'll be a privilege to have you with us. And for doing all this, we are recognized as #1 management association in India for the last 14 years. So that's a privilege. All this we could achieve only because of the support and the thing what you get from thing, and look forward to seeing you more. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's really a privilege to collaborate with Federal. All the very best for the event this evening.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words as you represent the MMA. And up next is our much anticipated fireside chat on the topic AI as a strategic partner, not just as a tech tool. As AI increasingly shapes strategic decisions across industries, this conversation will explore its evolving role beyond technology. Joining us this evening is Mr. Dinesh Varadarajan. He's the Chief Product Officer at KissFlow, and the session will be moderated by our Editor-in-Chief, Mr. S. Srinivasan. Please join me in welcoming them.
Hello, good evening. Welcome, everybody. I've lived in Delhi for a long time. If somebody asked me whether I would start my first event with this topic, probably in Delhi I would have. I feel Chennai is a perfect place where people are very keen to listen to new ideas and they're very keen to participate, evolving new thinking, especially in the field of technology. One thing I always wondered that, South is so good in the knowledge industry, they always score. But when it comes to national coverage and even coverage locally, I find often wanting, and especially the business coverage, especially the tech coverage, I find there could be more. So in federal, we always look for areas which are hardly they're shadow areas, and I thought this was a good opportunity to begin with. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. AI, it's a buzzword now. Everybody uses AI. So you would find even real estate companies are beginning to use AI in the end, thinking that they will sell more properties now. So AI has become all everywhere you will see this. Now the world of artificial intelligence is split in two right now. On the one hand, you have people, if you have to listen to all the babble or all the kind of talks which are coming from Silicon Valley, the circus masters there perhaps, if you listen to them, then soon, at its extremity, if you think like, listen to them, perhaps soon machines are going to replace human beings. That's at one level. But on the other level, there are people who are pretty skeptic and they think that, look, it's just another technology. It is perhaps we have to start using it the way electricity, the way it evolved, or the industrial revolution, the way it changed the whole working pattern. It's simply that. I think, as always, truth lies somewhere in between. And I would, start with, the first question with Dinesh. As a chief product officer, you have a lot of experience, you have visited a lot of boardrooms, you have made presentations perhaps. Where do you think right now, where do you place this between the two expertise? Where do you see AI now? What is your view?
First, thank you for inviting me to this, and it's a pleasure being part of an esteemed community here as well. As you said, so you'll probably talk about the paradigm shifts. At least I'm old enough to be part of 3 paradigm shifts. The first one being internet, and the next one smartphones, and of course the cloud computing as well, right, which actually took the software to the world. But this paradigm is completely different than what we went through, right? People normally compare against when the automobiles were invented. Right? The world around them changed, everything changed, right? But it's beyond that, in the sense, in every paradigm shift, it created a lot of new opportunities. But this paradigm is helping one set of folks to a lot, especially people who are taking decisions, who are the visionaries. And it's also extremely difficult for the other set of folks who just follow the instructions, the doers. If you think about it, we have like thinkers and doers. Thinkers, it's a phenomenal achievement. It's going to improve the capability of the thinkers by 10x or 100x rather. But if you look at any organization, the majority of the folks are the doers, people who follow instructions. And AI is going to do that.
Yeah, normally it's 6 to 8%.
Yeah.
So AI would increase that percentage, or there will be more doers now?
There will be less doers. AI is the doer. Right. I'll probably give an example, right, which happened in our organization. Of course, there used to be a term called cloud washing, right? When the cloud computing was invented, all the companies who were like having products, suddenly they deployed in the cloud service providers and say, I am a cloud product, right? They didn't change anything. Just that instead of deploying in their own machines, they deployed in cloud. Right now, every company is calling their company as an AI company. They didn't change anything, right? They just put a layer of AI, like a band-aid, right? And they call it an AI product. So we don't want to get into the same. We don't want to put a band-aid, rather we want to build a new version of the product. Naturally, when you want to build a new version of the product, what do? You have a lot of discussions. You call your team, give them instruction, ask them to develop the product. Naturally, any new version takes time because there's a lot of translation involved. When you have more people, they need to translate to the next level, they need to translate to the next level, and they need to have like 50 people working on the product. Instead, we said, we part of the founding team, we'll probably do it ourselves, 4 of us. The first version of the product, we wrote code like 10 years back. We are able to implement the first version of the product in 4 days. And we didn't write a single line of code. The whole code is generated. Because we know what we want. If you are clear about what you need, then AI will do it for you. And if you actually think about the thinkers or the decision makers, they exactly know what is needed. Majority of the time, they are not able to get it done because they have a team who need to do it for them. But with AI, the executive team or the leadership team will be able to do it themselves. And that's the major advantage of this.
Yeah, so in some, if I have to summarize in one line, you're saying that people in the boardroom really have to decide what is it they want to get out of this.
They know it because they're in the business.
Yeah. So I'll take you to the next important issue here about the AI adoption. How much companies are adopting this? I'll read out some numbers here. A team lead study revealed high AI adoption in pharma and healthcare, 52% in India, followed by 43% FMCG. Even manufacturing is around 28%, which I doubt. You can tell me that. And a Niti Aayog report makes a fantastic claim that 59% of large Indian enterprises, that's having employees over 1,000, report active AI deployment highest among surveyed countries. So whatever they've done a survey, and then they're saying that this deployment is highest. But there are other surveys that suggest that while enthusiasm is high, AI is not yet embedded into most corporate strategy. So is it largely, when you say all this, when I listen to all this, is it largely at an exploratory stage? Or
Yeah, kind of, yeah, it is. People may actually find it difficult to agree to this, but if you look at, we'll probably understand what is AI adoption. I'm 100% sure all of you are using ChatGPT or some LLM here, right? Does it mean we already adopted AI? Right? If you look at any enterprise, for that matter, including ours, there are a lot of low-hanging fruits. In the sense, I want to automatically generate all the brochures using AI. Yeah, of course, it's possible. I want my design or the video team or the marketing team to use AI. It's possible. This is not AI adoption, right? You are using AI as a tool to do what a human is doing. We are not reimagining, right? And if you see, this is an adoption, this is happening everywhere. But the bigger value of AI is not in using AI as a tool to do what we are doing. Because this is a new paradigm, I need to reimagine the way I am doing everything in my business and then use AI as a differentiator to do it better, or not do it. Probably some steps are not even needed right now. Right? So I might actually replace that with AI. So that is what actual adoption is. But unfortunately, there's a significant, even if I go to my team, ask them to explore AI, the first answer is denial. Right? They are saying, okay, AI is inaccurate. It is not actually giving what I want. Right? And the next one is adoption, and then next thing is innovation. First they deny, then
so how many companies you think, if you have a portfolio of companies, how many of them have gone to the next stage from, say, exploration to maybe some people must have started some kind of a pilot project, some people have gone into some kind of operational, But if you have to pinpoint how many are actually in the transformational stage,
Less than 10%. Because
10%.
transformation is difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
Transformation needs the founding team or the CXOs sitting together and then looking at how the business is run, all right, and then reimagining everything. That is not an easy journey, right? So that's extremely difficult.
So, all that which we keep listening. So if you have to talk about diffusion of AI, so ChatGPT had 500 million followers. Does it mean that, you have to really make a distinction? How much is actually being put to use in a serious manner in an industry, and how much is only people looking at, maybe generating some poems or doing some minor translation work or getting some answers to some queries?
I don't want to trivialize the adoption. The adoption is important and serious. That said, it's not transformative. All right. There was a very, very familiar use case about a company called Klarna, a Swedish fintech company. I don't know how many of you heard of that, because Klarna used AI and then is able to replace 700 people support staff within the organization. All right. But you know what happened now? Last week they got them back. Not all of them, of course, right? But they said only AI is not helping. Right? We need human in the loop for many of the cases. So that is transformation, because they completely want to rewire the way they run the business. Of course, there are challenges. So they are able to figure out a way to get out of that. But there are like handful of companies who are actually doing transformation at that scale.
Right.
Right. Pretty much all the other companies are replacing certain functions or certain ways of how they operate. Right. That's what they use AI.
So when you get into say a boardroom to make a presentation or something, when you're trying to acquire a client, what is the level of appreciation from the founders, from the board members? What is the level of their own understanding of AI, and how much they think it will affect them? Of course, I'll come later to that, the financial question, but even cultural aspect, or dealing with humans, what is the kind of responses you receive from them? What are their, initial apprehensions, or when you present, what are the kind of, answers you get from them, or queries you get from them rather?
Okay, at least in my interactions, people understand the impact. It is not like they are trivializing the impact of AI. They know they need to change. They know the business models are, even everything that is related to people working with them, everything need to change. They understand the urgency as well. Just that it is a moving target. AI is changing every day, right? It is extremely difficult to take decision without knowing where it's getting towards, right?
Yeah, so that would be another element. We have seen so many changes since January after DeepSeek came. The whole Sam Altman perhaps went back to his drawing board and started looking at things that he didn't need to spend so much, because the reasoning became so easily available now along with LLMs. Now, when these kind of changes are happening and so rapidly happening, how do, in a boardroom they would take a decision? So again, do you get a pushback on this?
So at least it's my philosophy, right? We need to run. AI is running. We need to run along with it. Otherwise, we'll be left behind, right? So things will change. We need to be extremely agile. If AI is changing, we need to change the direction and then again run. That's the only way to survive. At least that is my philosophy on that. Because the pace in which the innovation is happening is unbelievable.
Right.
Right. And if you don't keep track of that, and if you don't adopt it sooner, then there'll be others, our competitors, right? Our typical innovators dilemma. There's a lot of new companies will actually end up killing us, right? So it's a survival challenge right now. So the only way is to continue to observe, adapt, and then run. I don't see any other.
Yeah, I'll take this question forward further. So what is the difference in approaches between the various sizes of companies, say small, medium, and large, who are more keen to adopt? I mean, I would imagine ideally startups would be more keen because there's nothing much
Yeah.
to lose. But then what is that you see?
You answered the question. We are like a 350 member company. It's easy for us to adapt. We are very small, right? But again, if you look at the bigger company, it's like turning a ship. Even if you want to turn the ship by a few degrees, it's going to be extremely difficult, right? Because they have other priorities. Every function will have a different priority. We have an internal joke running. If you go to Google I/O, you see at least 20, 30 different products that is getting launched. But again, if you look at number of products that are actually used by the customers, it's very less. Because Google I/O is nothing but a presentation that is shared to Sundar Pichai a day before by like 10 different teams within Google, right? Everyone have their own priorities. Extremely difficult to channelize the energy in a bigger organization towards a common objective, right? That's where, again, going back to innovator's dilemma, that's the reason the startups end up killing the bigger companies.
Yeah.
Because startups don't have the baggage, right? They'll be able to
They can innovate
faster
very
and-
quickly. You see, the other important aspect for you is data. And what kind of challenges you face in getting a data? Because you see, there must be governance issues in some of the industries, especially if you're going to deal with something like banking or other financial intermediation, you will have some kind of an issue there because they have to deal with those laws as well, governance laws as well. So, how much of data they're willing to part, especially when you're going to use open source, when they're going to build products for them? What kind of pushback you get there?
No, before that, the bigger challenge is availability of data itself. Right?
Right.
Because if you take any organization, they have like so many tools. There is nothing like a central data repository.
I agree. Yeah.
See, unfortunately, for AI to work, you need to have data. Data that is in like one single place, data from across like different systems. Data, even if it is not structurally connected, at least should be logical connection between data. The bigger challenge in transformation, it's about I need to go and change, at least make sure the data is available. That is a central data warehouse or a data lake, right? Where our data is available. And data security is the second problem, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have a very good culture of collecting data, and I mean that's a big gap in our.
Yeah,
So even in businesses, you might be facing that.
that's true.
But then you have new tools now. You can get. You need not get only structured, even unstructured data. You can use. You can get into what is called data lakes or some. These are expressions which you guys use. But are companies willing to invest in that?
A good question. The answer is they should.
Which means they are not.
A lot of companies
level
already
which you-
invested in this, right? It's like
Right.
a lot of big companies already invested in data lakes. They know this. They are like doing it for like many years now, but just that it is not quite prevalent, right? And if I have to compete in the new era, right, then I need to make that investment right now. I need to make sure the data is available in like one central place, and AI needs data to give insights. And if data is like spread across multiple different systems, data silos, then I'm not going to get insights because of AI. And but if you look at all these things, these are like huge transformations. This is not like tomorrow I will get it done, right? Someone need to have a conviction, believing this is very important for the future of the organization, and they need to invest in that. Only then, whatever power that we are trying to harness out of AI, I will be able to achieve that.
Right. So I'll come to a very different question. Workflows are very important for an organization to govern and to produce. Everywhere, you have to have a certain workflow, whether it is, a service sector or a manufacturing or anywhere. I imagine when I'm not a techie, but I imagine when you're trying to make algorithm out of that, and you must be asking about those processes because you're trying to mimic them in a way. You're going to ask them those questions, raise those questions to the middle management and the other who are supervisory. Aren't their question also come once this is settled? Are these same managers will be in a position to operate them because they're not going to be engineers? They would be perhaps thinking that they might lose their job. So how do you deal with these kind of contradictions?
Now, running business is as simple as that, right? We all have workflows. We are talking about an example of a very simple reimbursement request. Right? We don't take decisions based on facts and rules. There are AI can work only with data that is in the system, but if you look at any decision that we take every day, that is based on a lot of information that doesn't exist in the system. Right? Well, talking about example, there are a lot of things that are connected. Of course, in Chennai flood, something happened to my car, and the service center, they need to get parts from a different country. And they said typically the ETA is like 15 days. Right? I know it's not possible because there is a war that is happening in Yemen. Right? It's a detour. It's going to take like 15 more days. But how will AI predict that information? Because this is not even connected. Any decision that we take in business every day is based on a lot of information that is not logically connected. I know this person, I can trust this person. If he submits something, I'll go and approve because I know this person really well, right? And he's going to probably Singapore. Singapore is like slightly more expensive than going to Mumbai, right? I don't have a rule in the system to define how much they should reimburse for this particular country. So there are a lot of decisions that we take based on the experiential knowledge that we have and an opinion I have about something, right? And that's where the AI will fail. So it's extremely important to use AI as an augmentation, right? I am doing something and AI is going to help me in doing it well. And I don't think AI will ever replace the managers who is defining the process. Because if everything goes by process, then we don't have to be here, right? The system will automatically run.
So, yeah, so that stage hasn't yet come. Would you say that? The next question, probably whenever it goes to boardroom, is about budgeting. And are they, there's an estimate that 67% of companies are spending less than 10% of what their IT budget is on AI initiatives. So when the spend is so low, with this kind of modest allocation, how do you expect, AI taking off? So how do you deal with this? How do you, kind of convince the board that, look, you need to invest more in this?
No, it again goes back to the transformation point that you're talking about, because when you're going to save a lot of money by reimagining how we are actually doing something, right? Yeah. That money need to go into AI. AI is expensive right now. It's not cheap. And then actually the cost will come down like any other technology advancement that's happening the last 20 years. But right now it's expensive. But again, if you look at the ROI, because I'm saving significant money through AI, so for that to happen, I need to invest in AI. Right? Probably that's the...
So when you say ROI, return on investment, but in a medium term, they'll have to lose some money.
They have to.
They have to. So are they prepared for that? Because are you able to show them a long-term goal?
It is about the kind of initiatives that you take. It's extremely difficult to go into a boardroom and saying, I need like $1 million.
Any case study which you have come across where you
like
substantial savings have happened? I'm not even saying ROI, even savings.
Quite a few cases. A lot of very interesting cases as well. I don't know how much time we have, but again,
one case you can give.
Okay.
That'll be more interesting.
One of the biggest oil and gas customers for us. All right. They did something that is very phenomenal in the sense they have fuel stations all across LATAM and Africa, and they need to take care of auditing, right? Because the fuel stations, for example, if someone is not refueling in like 10 minutes, then they need to initiate a trigger, right? And they have like cameras everywhere, and there are like a lot of restricted zones. And someone is moving inside the restriction zones, it might actually get a heavy penalty as well. So it will be immediately triggered a warning to the system as well. And they use AI to automate everything, right? What used to take months or what used to result in heavy penalties, right now they are actually getting triggers immediately, right? And this is not something very complex as well. These are like very simple implementations. It is not like very expensive as well. So we are having a conversation about where to use AI. The bigger need in AI is to know what to do with AI. If you know what the problems that they need to solve through AI, solving is quite easy, right? That doesn't need any organization to build their own LLMs or anything like that, foundational models, right? Everything is available right there. As long as you know what to do with AI, you'll be able to do it. So when you go to the boardroom, it is about picking the challenges that result in significant cost,
Right.
and then convince them on the investment in AI.
Yeah, I'll come to a final question. The issue of regulation. In the US, Elon Musk doesn't want, he's against it. Europeans are very particular about it. What about India? We don't even have any basic framework. Is even the conversation.
Now, what will
begin
you
on that?
regulate? See, we
Or
don't
you
have,
think it hasn't even reached that stage?
haven't reached the stage yet. First, we need to have roads. Then we'll think about signals and lanes, right? AI at a stage where we don't know where it is even heading towards, right? It's extremely difficult to put any
yeah.
regulation or rules right now.
No, but you see, I agree that regulation, do you think regulation should come later or at some level they have to start thinking about it, isn't it?
Thinking is continuous process, right? People are continuously thinking about how to regulate everything, but it is too early, I guess, right? We need to. There's a significant risk involved. I am not denying that fact, but again, the pace in which it is progressing, it is extremely difficult to put any guardrails around whatever that is happening, right? We need to probably wait for some time, or probably use AI to regulate.
So
AI.
one good example I heard is about automobile. So they perhaps said that when the early automobile revolution happened, they haven't thought of any kind of regulation. So only later when the accident began to happen, when the auto companies started thinking of doing that. But are you going to wait? Because AI is going to change things very fast. That's what I'm hearing. So do you have that kind of time period
No,
with you?
I'm not saying people are not implementing guardrails. The guardrails are always part of the system. Everyone, at least I am from the Terminator era, right? So there is always a kill switch in all LLMs. When you talk to any company, Google or OpenAI, they talk about the kill switch, right? Multiple levels of prevention they have in AI. But it's like, it's for me, in the advancement that is happening in AI, this is like very small check, let's say. I think AI will easily overcome any controls that we have at this point in time, right? We are not at a stage where you're able to grasp where this is heading towards to put the right amount of guardrails and regulations to control that.
Yeah, so one final question. According to Demis Hassabis, he's one of the Nobel laureates. He says AGI is an overused term. It needs to be consistent across the board. It has lots of holes. So this is the same guy who has done, AlphaGo, AlphaFold. And now there are other things which he's also trying to bring. AlphaEvolve is kind of an intelligent model. It will actually reread and kind of self-improve even the various codes. In fact, he's even saying that, hallucination also good, it's creativity. So there is so much he's saying. But then do you think that AGI as a term is being overused without understanding its meaning? Because he himself says that definition is not very clear. Each person seems to having, in my view, their own level of AGI understanding.
No, there is no single definition for AGI, and it is not like one day someone will say, okay, now we have achieved AGI. It's an evolving process, right? So this again goes back to what we believe as intelligence, because, so when do you see someone as intelligent? You ask a question, they are able to give an answer that actually convinces you, right? Because this guy knows more than what I know, right? I am getting something new from this person. How do they know it? Because they listen to a lot of podcasts, they grasp information. So they have more dots in their mind. So they're able to connect those dots and give an information that convinces you. And if you think about intelligence in that manner, who holds most number of dots? LLMs.
So biological intelligence is still far above than machine intelligence.
There are a lot of things that machines won't be able to do.
Yeah. Okay.
But if we just look at...
I think it's a very interesting topic. I think it will go on and on if we... finally, I'll end with one. There's so many things, other things happening, very interesting. I heard even one Anthropic chief product officer was asked a question about his Mike Krieger, that some of his codes begin to blackmail him.
Yeah, it's
So even that's very interesting. But I think we have to conclude. We have a definite time here. But I'll conclude saying I think it's a great time for people like you, computer scientists and those practitioners of computer. It's perhaps a very good time for you guys.
no, it's a great time for all the thinkers. Right? Pretty much all the folks over here are at a very senior position who take decisions. Right? If you have a vision and if you say, okay, it's extremely difficult to translate the vision into reality because I need to translate to so many levels. Right now, the power is in our hands. Right? We'll be able to actually use AI as an assistant to get that done. And that's where I see the value as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Dinesh.
Thank you.
Thank you for your perspective.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you very much, Mr. Dinesh Vararajan, for your insightful thoughts. The floor is now open for questions. Please raise your hands. We can, volunteers can get the mics for you. Okay.
Couple of things. What is you mentioned about AI will be able to answer based on what we ask them. That was interesting. It all depends on what it knows, isn't it? Is it that it knows everything or it is limited by what it is fed into it? Because there are so many limitations that is put in place like copyrights, etc., where they may not be able to get real-time information. So what relevant is the answer that we will be getting from AI? That is one. But second part is you mentioned the interesting about it's going at a fast pace. We're not even able to catch up with them. And many are fearful that it may be overtaking us. If AI is posed to question, assuming that AI knows everything, will it be in a position to answer when it is going to overtake us? Thank you.
Second question, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't live that long. Where I see the Terminator in action. At least for the first question, there are a lot of, again, going back to copyright and regulations, there are a lot of challenges right now. But the bigger challenge is it's learning at the pace that none of the humans can learn. It is acquiring data at the pace that none of us will be able to compete against that. Right? This is the biggest challenge. So if you ask me, is there a person who I rely on more than LLM to get information or knowledge? Right now, I don't know anyone. At least personally, I don't know anyone who knows better than LLM, right? So at any point in time, I would rather go into a large language model and ask a question, get an answer. And it's a very good, okay, it is extremely good at talking about things that doesn't know. In a way that it convinces us as well. So right now I am convinced. I still don't know whether it's right or wrong, but it is quite good at doing that.
Well, I am Ramesh. Looking to you. Is it okay? Are you? Yeah. After listening to your discussion over the fireside, I have a query. Is there still any scope for natural intelligence to do any stuff? Future decision making and judgment generation process?
A lot. We spoke about this before, right? Humans, we have an innate ability to connect things that are not even connected. I am seeing AI augmenting what we do instead of replacing us. Of course, AI will replace a lot of things that we do, not essentially the humans itself, right? So we are, naturally if it comes to that point, we'll anyway press the kill switch, right? It's there everywhere. But I don't think it will get to that. People are, see, again, this could be end up becoming a philosophical answer. There is nothing like a right and wrong answer over here, but this is again what I believe. That's what will happen.
Hi, Dinesh. My name is Sriram. I come from the consumer and retail industry. Are there predictive analysis or any kind of generative AI which is going to tell specific to the retail industry on inventory management. Last I read was Marks and Spencer India is sitting at 3,000 crores worth of inventory. It will take about 7 years for them to exhaust that. Example, right? You spoke about Shell or one of the energy companies in LATAM, etc. Similarly, today gold price is $9,000, right? So, is there a way by which both the retailers as well as consumers will be able to sort of use AI more meaningfully within the consumer retail industry? And if Kislo has done some work on that?
No, we haven't done anything on that. But that's the future for LLMs, right? We are going to have more specialized foundational models. Last week, I don't know how many of you noticed, Perplexity launched Perplexity for Finance. So this is unbelievable. If you upload, if you ask questions about your organization, it can pitch the quantitative service of all your competitors, figure out what they are doing, where they are investing, and then it actually look at companies who are related to yours, pitch all the information and give you a very detailed report. Right? You can upload all your information as well. Right, all your expenses, all the investment that you do. And it is what a McKinsey or KPMG consultant would actually do. And that is available for anyone right now. So this is again a very specific implementation for finance. And we believe in future, all the vertical specific foundational models will evolve. Something for retail. I don't know whether it is something already exists, but again, that's what we believe as future. Yeah.
We can take one more question there, sir, please.
I am Dr. Chokkalingam, cardiologist, practicing for the last 60 years. I want to ask you, it's going to have an enormous impact in health field, no doubt about it. As a cardiologist, I may interpret, say, about thousands of ECG or CT scan or MRI. But AI is going to give millions of different interpretations. The accuracy may be very good, it's easy for processing, and even we can say predict that what is the probability that the person is going to get any heart attack like that is going to have enormous impact. And at the same time, one caution, anything we're going to have a scientific that media like this, you have a counter one, for example, cyber threats or various things that we must have been viral one all the time. We must be having that collateral one going to develop. You must put a full stop for it.
That's right.
My basic doubt is, we want to call it as artificial. Artificial is unnatural, false, spurious. I think there must be a better term for AI. You must coin it as not an artificial one. I think it's going to augment our intelligence of natural one. Because brain has got 100 billion cells. Human being has got 40 trillion cells. The coexisting one with us is 120 trillion organisms. So how are we going to tackle everything by means of putting up AI? I think you can get the answer for all those things. Really appreciate your conversation.
So I can take one part of this. I think they perhaps call it artificial because what they're trying to do is, if you have to imagine, take our brain out and flatten it, and then the lot of cells which are all interconnected through neurons. And that is what they're trying to mimic. Yeah. So you have a real biological brain and there is an artificial one which they're trying to create. Perhaps that's why they call it AI.
Probably, but that's a nice observation, right? This is again a term that is coined long back. Probably we can call it as an augmented intelligence, something like that. Anyway, thank you.
So, thank you very much, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks, Dinesh, again. So I saw a couple of hands going up. We can take those questions offline as well. So move on to the next panel discussion right now. That's on the topic, building trust in machines. How do we include AI in strategy? We have here with us Mr. Jagan Selvara, Chief Executive at Tunai AI, our title sponsor for this event. Mr. Raj Babu, Founder and Chief Executive at Agilisium Labs. Mr. Manish Bafna, Senior Vice President at Responsive. Ms. Aparna T.A., Head of Enterprise IT Solutions at Manage Engine Zoho Corp. The panel will be moderated by Mr. Ranjit Menarkod, Founder, the new our knowledge partner for the event. A big round of applause for our panelists, please, ladies and gentlemen. Introduction, then we can say great. Absolutely. You're in the middle, rightly in the middle.
Be alone.
So, okay. I would like to request Group Captain Mr. Vijay Kumar to felicitate our guests. Sir, please. For the opportunity. All right. Thank you, people. Run to the floor is yours. Thank you.
Awesome. Hi, can you all hear me? Awesome. Hi. So, my name is Ranjit Menarkot, and I'm the founder of something called the Neural, and we're partners with the federal, for this event. And what we do is we run a community, that's basically focused on accelerating AI adoption. So when Srini and the federal team reached out saying, hey, would you like to jump on board this? I said, of course, yes, it's on the boardroom, and of course I'm on board.
So fun fact to share, right? I mean, to start this discussion off, in 2023, Hansen Robotics actually appointed a robot, Sophia, as a boardroom, as a boardroom watcher. What Sophia did, I have no clue, but she was there as somebody watching the boardroom. Maybe they were just recording what everybody was doing, not very clear about it. And also very interesting, another interesting note to share, for those of you who've been to San Francisco, a very interesting thing happened in May, right? Which is that in San Francisco, you can get a ride. I mean, there is no Ola or Uber. There are multiple other companies. They have ride share, and then they have autonomous taxis, right? Very, very cool autonomous taxis. They just fly all over. In May, the share of autonomous taxis in San Francisco went over the share of ride share cabs, which means that more people actually were in an autonomous taxi in San Francisco in May. And definitely, the boards of those autonomous companies are going to be discussing, what AI has in role for their businesses and how it actually is going to be impacting them. So just thought I'd share this with you guys to actually start off, this discussion. So we are here today to understand, AI, why, it's being discussed in the boardroom. What is the value that AI is delivering for it to even be discussed in the boardroom? I mean, is there really any value that's being delivered by AI? Then, of course, we'll delve a little bit into, what are the concerns? I mean, is everything okay with AI, or are there really some concerns that people should be chatting about? And to have this discussion with us, we have these illustrious panelists. So over to you guys for a quick 30-second intro, sorry, not 30-minute.
Hi, I'm Jagan Selvaraj, and I have three companies, Entrance AI, InPython AI, and Tuna AI. So if you take us, before 1 year, every of our companies are .coms or .ios. So we transformed everything into AI because, we feel like, the change should start from us when we start, pitching it to our customers. So that's my quick introduction.
Yeah, hi, I'm Aparna. I represent Manage Engine. We are a division of Zoho Corp. We've been around for about 25, close to 30 years now. I head the Enterprise Services Division. We also have a few products, 100 plus products in the SaaS world, and one of the early SaaS groomers from India. And we're certainly looking forward to riding another wave, technology wave AI. So that's about the introduction.
Hey everyone, this is Manish here, representing Responsive, and I head the engineering division at Responsive. So what we do is we provide platform for enterprises to respond to any kind of a questionnaire that they get. Maybe it's an RFP or RFI, RFQ, security questionnaires, due diligence questionnaires, any kind of questionnaires that the enterprise get from their prospects or from their customers. They use our platform to respond to it effectively. And I think you all can think that saying that, okay, when AI is coming into play, the first thing everyone talks about it, okay, AI is going to respond to the question. So that's what we are doing from long time.
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Rajesh Babu Padmanabhan, go by Raj Babu. I'm the founder and CEO of Agilesium. I founded the company almost 10 years ago. We are primarily, we always were in data and analytics, but now we are into data analytics insights, and recently we taken AI. Hyper-focused in pharma industry, helping pharma industry in US-based pharma industry in commercial operation, which is sales and marketing, and in R&D, in drug discovery, also looking at manufacturing. So basically, we look at the entire industry at the process level, and we try to see how we can transform those processes. Basically, all those codes should have been written in a non-AI code. So we are looking at transforming all that into agentic AI and making it, hyper intelligent, get a lot more effectiveness, and efficiency. So that's what we do.
Awesome. Thank you all for that. So we're going to dive right into it, right? So AI, I mean, Srini was probing Dinesh and, should AI, what is really the value of AI and, what's being discussed. So I think we need to first even start, we're trying to see whether we go a little bit behind that. I mean, AI is an IT topic. Should it really be in a boardroom, right? So that's the fundamental question. And sort of to give us perspectives, I think we'll start with you, Raj. So Raj, you have extensive experience working in Fortune 500 companies, running your own, business today. Running your own company today. Many people, have this view that AI is just a technology. Okay, that's explosive. Clearly, AI doesn't agree with that. So Raj, many people have this view that AI is just a technology. Does it go beyond technology into strategy? What is your view, and how do you think, boards, why do you think even boards view it? And we just knocked all the mics out of that question.
Hello? Yeah. See, I think, I don't think really we have really understood how powerful AI is. The only two things I would compare AI to. AI is for humanity as transformative as fire, wheel, and the politics of democracy, right? These are things which fundamentally changed humanity, fundamentally, right? And I think AI is that transformative. And to get the point across how transformative it is, I'll make a statement telling that knowledge is not power anymore. Knowledge is absolutely not power. We have all used to hearing knowledge is power. Knowledge is a commodity. Okay, AI has made knowledge a commodity. It's going to transform everything, and the humanity will not be as we know it with more and more AI unfolding. That's a fact. But that doesn't mean it's in a negative way. That doesn't mean it's in a negative way. I would assume mostly it's in a positive way. But the humanity is not the same as it is after fire or farming or finding the politics new way. It completely is, or even language. See, it's as humans we became more intelligent with the understanding of language. Now, what we have done, it's not the AI, it's the LLM. It understands the language. It comprehends the language. We need to understand language is the operating system of human beings. And with that operating system only, we did everything we see today. Now we have given that operating system to machines. So it's going to transform, and it is our responsibility to make sure it's in our interest, right? Because still AI is a machine. It doesn't have desire yet, right? The desire is ours. So as long as we manage, we'll be fine. So now I'll come to the question what you said. I think when it transforms everything, it would be naive to think it won't transform the board. It will transform everything. The leadership the board has to pay attention to AI for multiple reasons. Their business is going to be fundamentally transformed. If they do not understand it's going to be fundamentally transformed in a serious way, they don't have a clue. They need to be, in a way, seriously to somewhat paranoid. Board has to be seriously or somewhat paranoid what AI can do for their business. So it has to be there both in their decision making and what it is in their offering to the industry. It has to be there. This is going to be, and I will tell you, if they're a little bit paranoid in a positive way and they get on it and do it, I think it is a good thing. It's a very, very, very positive thing. But do not ignore it or do not take it lightly. If you take it lightly, it will just walk over you. And it's a freight train coming. You'll be on its way. Better to get into the freight train.
So Raj is advocating that if the board is not serious about AI, we should fire them. This is really a very, radical view, Raj, but interesting. Knowledge being commoditized is a fantastic point. I do believe that, I think, Dinesh was also sharing before this, LLMs are making knowledge a commodity today. And that's actually changing a lot of things. Many of the companies that are being born today are wrappers around that knowledge, and many other things are going on. But let me quickly come into Aparna, right? So Aparna, so you are from Zoho, and Zoho has about 200,000 plus customers. You guys deploy, AI in many of your products. What do you see is fundamentally different about this AI tech wave that's actually enabling, something different for your customers?
Perfect. Great question. Sort of roll back to the artificial intelligence term that we were talking about before. The term artificial intelligence was formed in the year 1956 or something like that. It is that old. We're talking about the technology wave today. AI has been an undercurrent in a lot of our businesses for a lot of decades. It's just taken that, the media flair is because of one a simple reason, which is the consumerization of AI. So far, AI was for the PhDs, for the graduates who understand the neural networks and all of that. But today, I can run an AI in my endpoint device, and I can do a lot of things with it. I think that is the power that we are getting today, and that's what we are also trying to make use of in our applications, where we're able to run a few small LLMs and very contextual intelligence for the end user at the endpoint, which is, imagine the compute that you have in your mobile devices. And being able to run an intelligence there, that's the leapfrog that we are trying to capitalize on, and also what the value that we will be able to provide in the next couple of years. Yeah.
Awesome. So, I mean, we'll probably come back to you on another question. But Manish, next question is to you. Responsive, you guys have developed this AI solution that's actually helping customers respond to RFPs and to sort of, you're bang in the middle of revenue streams of customers, right? So when you guys are actually explaining to boards that you're developing this AI or deploying this AI, how do you approach it? I mean, is it a competitive essential, or is it, is it just a tool that you guys deploy? How do you explain this?
That's a very good question. And maybe the way I can respond to this is, if we call AI as just a feature that we wanted to use, then I think we are losing and we are going low ahead, or we are just behind the competition. Because AI, yes, we can say it's just a feature, but it's a feature that transforms your complete business process. It can, again, we talk about the revenue, again, when it talks about the RFP, so one of the easiest way to measure is, are you winning more? Are you increasing the revenue? And that's something that we can quantitate, saying that, okay, with the help of AI, you are able to respond to more number of RFPs, and because you are able to respond to more number of RFPs in an accurate manner, we are winning more. So I think winning more means that, okay, you are going ahead of the competition, and I think that's an easy conversation that to have. So yes, AI can be considered just an add-on feature, but it's not an add-on which someone wanted to disable it, because if you disable it, you will lag behind the competition and you will be out of the market.
So Raj is there advocating that the board should be really serious. You're saying AI is equal to winning. These are all highly AI radical folks that we've got. Okay, I'm just kidding, but they're obviously serious and passionate about AI. So Jagan, over to you. Now, you just mentioned that you're actually running, a couple of companies. So tonight or AI, you've put AI right at the center, and you've built an agent around it, and you've built a framework around this. So when you go pitch to customers, what is the, if there's a customer, if there's a company there with a board, what is the value that they're looking for from AI, which is part of your solution?
That's a great question. Fundamentally, like our philosophy behind AI is AI democratized everything. So like how education democratized, so everyone gets an equal opportunity. That's what our feel is. AI has democratized. So every single person company to 500,000 or 100,000 employees company can act in a same manner and approach the same opportunity. So sitting from Tamil Nadu, we can able to compete with world's largest AI companies on the enterprise opportunities. So that is because of AI. So that's what board needs to think. So with that note, like the three major areas the board should consider is, one is on, they should consider AI as a strategic move, so that they should not think AI in a cost manner rather than it's your revenue generating area. So that's how we have to think, and AI can able to help you in that. That's a one area. And the second one is, again, everyone spoke about the risk of going out of the field. So if you are not adapting it, we will end up like how Nokia gone out of the industry, right? So that's the second one. And the third one is on your valuation side. So if we adapt AI, it can help any companies to, at least at this stage, it can help you to retain your existing employees and perform 10x out of it. If your turnover is 1,000 crores, you can make 10,000 crores. So that's the thumb rule you can keep, and it can help you to generate more revenue in 10x and generate valuation in 10x. So that's our view behind this.
If you're going to say things like, 1,000 crores can become 10,000 with AI, we're not going to leave that question as it is. We're going to obviously delve deeper. So what we want to know from you, Jagan, is, one part of AI, basically everybody's talking about is you can actually, you can get your employees to save a lot of time, and, you can do your tasks faster. Knowledge is a commodity. What is the real, value of what, for example, your platform is delivering? Could you just sort of break it down a little more for this audience? And what is the value that you're delivering, so that they understand it a little better?
So thank you. All right. With Tunai, we are building a second brain for any organization. So that's what we are telling. Our positioning is. So what we are trying to do is we are collecting all the information which is structured and unstructured, and your data from multiple sources, right? So for example, your salesperson is going and talking to the customers, and there a lot of knowledges are getting generated. Can we bring it back into our brain so that it will add more value to the organization, and bringing your knowledges from your SAP systems, from your Slack channels. So Tunai does that, bringing everything into a single knowledge base, and that brain is commonly used, right? So like now coming to the use cases, because now every knowledge is getting centralized into the Tunai brain, what we are trying to do is we have built a chat agents, voice agents, and email agents, and application agents. So these are the 4 type of touch points which our customers are coming into our ecosystem, where business users, there is no need for developers. So business users can go ahead and configure their workflow just like that natural language. Hey, can you create me a voice agent? And if the customer is asking these problems, put it into, parse the request and put it into SAP system and trigger a workflow request to my ServiceNow guys, and make a call center guy to call. So you define the flow, automatically the workflow is getting implemented, and that process is automated completely. So what this means is, previously you might need 10 people to do this process. Now with one agent, you can able to automate this process completely for your enterprise and at scale. So as I told earlier, right, it can derive 10x or 15x more than that.
Sounds like you're also eliminating a lot of people involved in this process, apart from just hastening the process up. But that's a topic for another debate. Aparna, question to you. You guys deal with a lot of IT companies. You guys deal with a lot of SMBs and large corporates. You have a bunch of AI features in your products. What is the value that those companies are extracting from those AI features?
Yeah, I think in terms of value, you can think about it in 3 ways. The first one is efficiency. A lot of what the SaaS tools or any of the on-prem software has been doing is automating a few jobs, right? Making it a lot more easier. What AI essentially is doing is 10xing that or 100xing that. So a simple, instead of you having to go to different tools and then configure different workflows. All you have to do is send out a message to AI chatbot, and it's going to take care of the whole workflow. So efficiency, that is when we are talking in enterprise IT scale, efficiency means efficiency of your team, efficiency of your process, right? And also some of the resolution that we end up doing. So efficiency is the first aspect. The second one is productivity. It actually gives you, like I think we've been talking about augmenting AI, right? Like, so it's essentially my partner in doing my work, right? So it's increasing my productivity is because I'm able to automate a lot of things in a lot more quicker way, which is the democratized aspect that he was talking about. So I don't have to go put in a complex workflow, all I have to do is type. So that's the second aspect, which is the productivity. The last one is very, very important. Staying back to what Raj said, right? He said knowledge has become commodity. I'm going a little step further to say intelligence has become commodity, right? Within an organization, from an L1 level of an IT to the director or a executive level, you have access to the knowledge today like you've never had before. That means you would be able to take decision for business. And similarly in IT aspects, you're running your IT workflows, you'll be able to make a decision confidently more than having to rely on a few approvals from before. So these are the three aspects in which it actually adds value to our customers.
So thanks. I mean, so they're making everything commodities. I'm thankful that being a moderator is not a commodity as of this moment. So I'm just going to continue with this. So Manish, you have an agent that's actually, answering RFPs. I'm assuming complexity of RFPs is one area, where your agent is going to work on this. What other strategic value does the AI that actually does this automatic RFP management? I mean, because we have all been, at least some of us have been part of companies where you normally have a separate team, right? I mean, for those of you who think that RFPs are very simple work, typically they're pretty complex. Your company's revenue streams depend on how well you answer RFPs. If you do a bad job of answering one question in an RFP, it's highly possible that you actually lose that deal and therefore lose a significant amount of revenue. So in that context, Manish, the question is, what is the strategic value that you guys deliver with AI? If you could just peel that out a little bit for the folks.
You have actually answered my question.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. But again, I would like to go back to the history of responsive. So before responsive, we used to call ourselves as RFPIO. I know it's a little bit difficult to pronounce, and it was saying that, okay, it was specific to RFP, and that's why we rebranded as responsive. But one of the core value that we had, even during the early days, was give back time. So that means, yes, there are a lot of organizations that have a dedicated team to respond to RFPs, but there are a lot of companies who don't have a dedicated team. Rather, when they get an RFP, they will bring in the product manager, they will bring in the SMEs from different departments and say, okay, can you respond to these RFPs? So we did the automation, and we were able to bring down the RFPs, which was done in a manual way, from 2 weeks to 1 week, even without the Gen AI. So that means with the old version of the AI which we are talking about, in the 1950s that you spoke about. With Gen AI, what we are able to do it is, from 1 week, we are able to bring to 1 day. So that's the power. So that means we are able to save the time. Again, we are not talking about that, okay, we are cutting the people. We are not talking about cutting the people, because the people is still needed. It's just that we are able to cut the time from 2 weeks to 1 week.
So you're saying one is time.
Yeah.
The second thing is these people who you also mentioned something interesting. The companies will bring in some of their experts to vet the RFP. Is that still a need?
This is still needed, again, because you still need human in the loop to go and review the responses. Like what you said, one wrong answer can disqualify you. So that means you still need a human in the loop over here to review the responses and see whether it's accurate or not. It's just that you're saving the time in completing the first draft, but you still need people to do the first round of review. So that means one is we are able to save the time. And the second one is, also talk about when you are able to use AI, you are able to respond faster. So that means your revenue is increasing because you are giving accurate answers. Sometimes if you go to different SMEs, each of them might give different answers, but you're going to get a consistent answer now. So that means your revenue is going to increase. Your win rates are going to increase. And ultimately, there is one metric which a lot of organizations are right now reviewing in detail, which is revenue per employee. I think that is one of the very important metrics that a lot of companies are talking about, saying that, okay, how do you optimize your revenue per employee? Now that means revenue divided by the total number of employees.
So one of the things that you're saying is apart from just the time and the number of man hours you're saving, you're also saying you can actually boost the revenue per employee with your tool.
Yes.
Now, fantastic. No, so Raj, so thanks Manish, thanks for that. Raj, I think, you're in life sciences and healthcare. So could you actually tell us as to some practical examples, right? I mean, things that you've seen in the field. How has AI accelerated something? Has it actually saved lives? Has it really made an impact out there?
Sure. Thank you. Yes, see, basically, at least there are multiple broad applications of AI that is there. But we work on three areas, value chains. One is autonomous hyper-automation. And another one is insights business. And then another one is comprehension and compression. So these are the three areas we work on. So what it means is the comprehension and compression is you can go and like it's a question answer basically. If somebody asks a question, hey, how many proposals we have done in this area for these kind of customers, you can go through hundreds of thousands of proposals, whatever, marketing, everything, pitch deck, everything, and you can tell, okay, you will give 1 or 2 lines, which is what ChatGPT does, comprehension and comprehension. And then another thing also ChatGPT does is it's a insights, right? It can give insights also, which is like the insights is forecast, right? One of the things I actually asked ChatGPT is that how many students will be there, male and female will be there in Tamil Nadu in high school passing in 2050. It actually did a forecast on the fertility rate and what would be the people in Tamil medium, and it did that, right? So that insight it also has. So it's able to give that answer. So there is another business areas we apply on. So in the life science industry particularly, where we are able to help is that in the R&D side, in the sales and marketing, which is commercial, and in the manufacturing, right? These are the three areas we currently operate on in the labs and all that stuff. So areas where we have particularly helped. One I can tell, it's one of the leading research institutes, hospital and research institute in US. Most of the Nobel laureates from medical are from that research institute. And actually we are working with a researcher who is from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, but he is doing research on kidney transplant. And the kidney transplant basically, the thing is, you have to take all the history of the kidney transplant recipient and the donor patients, and you have to look at the historical success rates of all that and what are all the complexities all came, and all the data is available. And then you have to, now a new kidney patients, recipient and donor is coming, and there all pathological data is coming. Based on these pathological data and the past history, what they want to tell is, it's not by first come first basis or young or adult. Who is the most best case scenario for this kidney and the survival rate it will be. So that we are publishing, and it is coming in a medical journal, in a prestigious medical journal. So it's really saving lives. So
that's fascinating.
Stuff like that. There is, patient targeting and stuff like that. We can go on. And as an industry-wide, we have not done it. In the industry-wide, we all know, discovering a drug, basically it is a 12-year journey, right, from start to end. If we can shave off, one of the things our customers want is to shave at least 4 years out of that 8 years. That means it can reach the patient earlier, patients' lives could be saved earlier, And this has been proven, this is not an idea, because now what you can do is that all these experiments and everything, you can do it digitally. You can have a digital patient, and you can have a digital treatment, and you can have a digital cure. And then if all that sets, then you come into animals and humans, right? All this is, it's been done. And it's not a hypothetical idea. By the way, this was tested in COVID. This was tested in COVID, the most largest case, and that's how the vaccination, which typically takes 80 to 12 years, came out in 2 years. So with the digital transformation, only they were able to do that, and they approved, fast-tracked many approval. So with that, now it's been approved for other things also. So we are helping customers in that area.
That's fascinating. I honestly didn't know that a digital twin could be built for a human being, and then you could try vaccines on them and try that out. It's fantastic that AI is bringing some of these things and also contributing to saving lives, right? I mean, kidneys are very much in demand, livers are very much in demand, and and sort of accelerating or rather making outcomes better in that is very, very essential, because it's a very, it's a rare commodity. I'm going to sort of speed up the panel a little bit. I think we're running a little short on time. So just, quick answers from each of you. So Aparna, question to you, and a little bit on, this is what Srini and Dinesh also touched on a little bit. So enterprises are deploying AI. Everybody, obviously all the IT teams and the AI teams want everybody to believe that everything is really good. There's no problem at all. But we know that, there are concerns that we should speak about. Board should be aware of those concerns. So when it comes to an enterprise deploying AI, what are some of the, the concern areas? What are some of the risks that are there for enterprises? Could you actually, sort of elaborate on that a little?
Yeah, I think the fundamental understanding of, is it fine? Yeah. The fundamental understanding of AI itself is to say that it's probabilistic, not deterministic. Everything that humans do are deterministic. When you say probability, it's just trying to figure out what's the next best word to add, right? So that's where the risk actually comes in. It comes in a few places. When I come from a SaaS kind of a background where tools, people use tools, right? So when you look at the operational risks there, one is as IT, you end up approving certain AI tools. And when you approve AI tools, you have a few guardrails there. So you're sort of, in a way, little safe. But what we are seeing today, because of the consumerization of AI, is that I'm starting to use one AI tool for one aspect of my job, another AI tool for another aspect of a job. That's where the risk becomes very, very significant, is because a lot of differentiating factor that we have today across different industries, different companies in an industry, is the knowledge and the intelligence that is there, which is today safeguarded within humans and tools that we use. But once we put that into AI, we are literally exposing our organizational IP to somebody else. And that is one of the biggest business risk that we have when AI tools start sprawling, right? The other one is where...
Sorry, I have to interject for a second. Do you think it's intentional that AI wants to learn from all conversations from you, and these big billion-dollar businesses want to steal everybody else's information?
I think it's already starting to become, even in all of our organizations, because I know I'm using AI for my work. I'm not supposed to be doing that, right? I'm copying a few customer data just because I want to compute it well, and then AI gets that information and it's gone. That's the, we saw the New York Times and OpenAI case, right? New York Times, their editorial is their IP. And those guys just stole their IP. So that's how all of the businesses also happens. Yeah. So that's where we're actually losing business IP. And I think that'll be like a very significant impact on each of our business. Why it's an existential thing, like he was saying in the beginning, right? You have to be paranoid about this. Yeah.
Sure. So, okay, so we have to move on to the next person, Aparna. So, but thanks for that. Manish, she spoke about a little bit about our safeguards, and I'll just have one more question after this, and we'll open the floor. You guys are actually practically determining if RFPs are being responded to. If they're not done well. You just said there's obviously a lot of risks over there. What kind of safeguards do you guys have to build to make your products actually work best for organizations?
First is, again, we do have, none of them is done autonomous way using AI. We have human in the loop when all the conversation or all the draft that is getting prepared. And we have also implemented something called as an trace score. For every response that we generate, we also generate a score which is called as a trace score, which is trustworthiness, saying that, okay, from where we got this response, is it trustworthy? Relevance, whether it is relevant, whether it's accurate, whether it is complete, and whether the response can be explainable, saying that, okay, from the source. So we have created this framework, and we do show score to the SMEs, saying that, okay, this is the response, and this is the score, and this is all the sources from where it came from. Now it's still on the human or still on the expert to go and review the responses and see whether it's accurate or not. Because RFPs, if there is something wrong in the RFPs, they will lose. And I don't think any of the business is going to take that risk, saying that, okay, that let AI do the job. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think human in the loop and the trace score along with it is helping them to do faster.
Thanks for that, Manish. I have questions, but we don't have time for them, and I'm going to ask Jagan one final question. So, Jagan, I mean, Aparna just told us that the more you expose your company's communications to AI, there's obviously risks. But you guys are right in the center of it. You're expecting customers to open up their emails to you. You're expecting them to open up their SAP systems and all of the systems to you. Obviously, they have a bunch of questions in their hand, right? And they obviously are wondering what are the risks are there. How do you address some of them?
So I would like to segregate into two part of this question, right? So like one is what happens like in every enterprise mind in taking a decision about AI. What happens if my data is getting trained in a public LLM, right? So that's a one issue, right? As Aparna told and others as is concerned, right? If I'm using Perplexity and putting my corporate data, what is going to happen, right? So it's a miserable mistake, which we are unknowingly doing it, but definitely it's a big mistake. So that's a first pain point. And the second pain point is like with the data, like whether my AI is going to hallucinate or give a wrong information to my customer, right? So to answer the first question, like how we are approaching through Tonai is, we are building it as a private VPC deployable for larger enterprises. So that's the first plan to solve for bigger enterprises so that their enterprise data doesn't goes out, but they can leverage the full AI out of it. So we are building a custom RAG solution on top of it, and we are helping them to make sure that their data retains in their organization, their knowledge is getting stored and they are keeping on learning. They are utilizing the best of the breed of AI, but it resides in their environment. So that's the first pain point, right? And the second one is on the, if whether my AI is going to hallucinate, doing a wrong thing to customer, recommending wrong thing to customer, like there, we have implemented a controlled AI in such a way that human in loop and also the security guardrail is, imbibed into the architecture in such a way that, we are only injecting the data which are already successfully validated by the human. For example, if a complex problem is solved and everything is tracked in a Jira ticket, so and if it is completely successful, then a human will decide whether this can be pushed into my enterprise data or my Tunai brain. Then that will be used for by AI to take automated decision. Not like every data will get pushed, right? So like we have a human check and balance to make sure that enterprises can use this AI with a very accurate results.
Thanks, Jagan. So one you're saying is you're drawing some boundaries as to what data can cross over into an LLM and what data cannot, and you're also including human in the loop in many of these areas. And obviously, the starting point for the data for the enterprise to share the data, you're trying to make it into something more safe, right? Fantastic. That's a lot, for this last 40 minutes. We're going to open the floor to questions. Yes, please. Some volunteer somewhere has to help us. When you ask a question, please tell us who it's meant for and then it's.
Sanjay Jain here. I would like to understand from each one of the panelists. You all spoke about general terms.
So we have only 3 questions. When you say you wanted all panelists to answer your question, that will probably have to happen. We'll take with one panel.
How it is going to impact the nation as a whole Because the government of India, given the current scenario in terms of positive impact, I'm not talking about negative, it is subject to the creativity of the person's mind to put application as a human being. The government point of view, how this AI is going to be positively in terms of revenue, I'm asking from the positive sense, politicians, bureaucrats, etc.
So your question, there are many questions in that. I'll just pick one, one summary question. What do you want to answer?
Positive, anybody, it's up to the creativity.
Aparna's going to go for it.
I've been very interested in this topic because the scale of nation is crores and the business that we are doing is 10,000, 12,000, 20,000 people, right? When it comes to India, the biggest advantage or the biggest impact that it can have is at the grassroots. Today, we do not have human resources who can go to the ground, any small ground, to go and say, these are the financial things that you have access to. These are the seeds you can buy for certain things. Those things we don't have today. But AI can scale to that level in their own, in their language. Government is investing in voice, language and voice models, which is going to help them reach that. I think the impact that we're going to have across the strata of the society is going to be crazy. But national security, I'm not the right person to talk because I know that's something everybody is drawing lines. Yeah.
Awesome. So we go to the next.
To Raj, you mentioned about knowledge being made as a commodity, and you're in the health science part of it as well. If you take, for example, nursing has two parts to it. One is the knowledge of the person, of the pain, and the second thing, how to approach to it, the soft part of it. As the AI got into the sentiment part of it to address that particular issue, maybe having what the issue was, but as it got into the sentiment part of it, and maybe it's touch upon question to Aparna would be, you mentioned about the efficiency of AI. Is it getting translated to effectiveness also? For example, AI may be efficient in predicting the weather, but is it effective as predictions has gone better? And one more thing would be on the guardrails. Is it getting across the country and across all the countries, or is it only in particular patches within some companies?
Yeah. See, I think when I do agree with Aparna previously. She said it's not just knowledge is commoditized, intelligence is commoditized. That's true, very true. And what is going to be left is really, I think, not which is I think the sixth sense we used to say is intelligence. That's gone, right? That's not our IP anymore, the human IP. The seventh sense, which we all, so far it was very negative, is going to become our IP, which is desire. So AI at this point doesn't have desire. So I think the compassion, the desire, the love for humans to have. Humans, we do like groups, that human to human touch. I think that is what is going to kind of be the future. The engineers who have kind of built last 20, 30, 60 years are going to become commodity. Our agent is going to replace the engineers. I think it's going to be the time of philosophers and poetry people and all that stuff to come. So when you said the nurses, I think that human touch, when you are in the bed, where you need a human touch there, the feelings, the emotions, that is the part. Yes, I want you to understand AI today also is showing emotions in the communications, right? I've had my AI tell me sorry 3 times when it gave some wrong answer. But it's we know it's a machine, right? We do know. But when a human says that same sorry, it means a different thing. Those cannot be at this point replaced, right? And those are all the human attributes which we've been taking it for granted, right? Where the intellect part has been always given the, I would rather say the feminine part of the human, right? Which is the softer touches. I think those are going to be amplified, but all the hard intellect, which we've been giving importance, is going to be replaced by AI. So I think we are going to learn. It's going to transform. But I think generally what we have been taking for granted or generally in the society is being ignored. The softer parts, the art, the philosophy, the music, and those are the parts which is going to be more human thing, and all the intellect part will become the machine agent thing. I think that's what I think of.
You fired all of us again. One more question, please.
This is Gopal from College of Engineering, Dindi campus of Anna University. Question to Mr. Manish. Let's postulate, as a teacher there, postulate every boardroom, wherever it is, happens in a sea of end users. Computing is a distant dream for them. The edge device is very powerful, time shared. Device itself is time shared. Each one licensed to permit only a handful of operations. What is it that we can do to prevent things going viral? My suggestion, are we trying out anything called simulated annealing? In case it goes. In old AI technique, simulated annealing, can we anneal that going viral?
What are you trying to prevent from going viral, sir, again?
Anything is a boardroom. A typical boardrooms, they are serious competitors. If all boardrooms are in a virtual space somewhere and they are all a sea of end users under these conditions, anything can go viral.
You're trying to prevent, it's like a mass, adoption of something from happening. Is that what you mean by going viral? Okay. So he's asking, saying, in the age of AI, can AI be also used to prevent something, mass from being adopted or from going viral? In whatever way you think you understand.
I'm still thinking.
I can answer.
I like the reasoning model you're using. The reasoning model here is also thinking. Yes, Raj.
See, I think basically, which we will be more and more talking about, right? AI, I think really we need to very seriously, sometime before it was asked here, is we need to very seriously, very soon think about guardrails for AI. I think AI, we should put circuit breakers everywhere. Every freaking place put the circuit breakers, and there has to be a layer of people who have the key for the circuit breakers. Because I am not afraid that AI the synthetic will become taking over the human. I don't think it will happen. But there is going to be a lot of rogue elements which are going to take the AI and take over the, do destruction or threat or whatever it is. So that's very much possible. So as we put this autonomous, it's becoming, we need to put circuit breakers every single place, and at a push of a button at a various level, be it town level, city level, state level, you need to put it to kill it. Otherwise, this can get viral. The companies have to think about the circuit breakers too, such as somebody was talking about, and I am a big culprit. I do put some information out there, and frankly speaking, sometimes I think I see the results later, and I think because I asked this previous question this is the way it's behaving, right? Lot of things, and it's a serious concern it is doing, and they are learning from it. It could be not the AI. The companies who are owning this AI are learning and putting some products which can come after you. Okay. To the degree now I'm even afraid whether the cloud which went is going to come back as data centers. Because when we went with the cloud, we didn't know this serious concern that these guys can take this data and do it. Now I'm thinking maybe we should bring data centers. So all these are valid questions because concerns which we were never aware of before has come to light now. So something to think about and definitely put guardrails and circuit in every single way.
Sure.
Yeah. One more thing that I want to add is you can trust humans, but I don't think anyone over here is going to trust computers because that is something that you cannot trust. What you get from computer or what from AI, it's just your initial one. Doesn't mean that okay, it is complete. Doesn't mean that okay, it is full truth. The only thing that you can do is always trust humans.
Just adding to this, both the points that we are saying. So Carnegie Mellon University, some time back, created a business where there are no humans, the only agents. There'll be a human resource agent, customer support agent, IT agent, and all of that. And you know what? The business didn't succeed. They were not able to run the business is because AI started taking shortcuts and started cheating the other person. And like how humans do proxy, no, I am there, I'm not there. They started doing the same thing. And so their efficiency was less than 30%. They were not able to produce more than that at all. And I think that's sort of an answer in that sense is yes, there have to be guardrails, but AI is simply just mimicking us and they are lazy, right? So that's how it's going to be.
No,
Yeah.
thanks for that. So I think so, so as the neural, what we also do is we track, AI news across and we sort of, for those of you who don't know what we do, just take a look at us at the neural.ai. We try and distill all this extreme explosion of AI news and then give this to you guys in videos and email newsletters to give you a counter view. While you guys said that, AI should not be trusted, just last week, there was a company in the US where the founder made an AI agent the CEO of the company because he believed that it'll actually do better than what a human being would do, right? So there are both schools of thought, but at the end of the day, please remember this, right? AI by itself, it has memory. It has a bunch of algorithms that actually sequence supposed thoughts together and, bring it out as a reasoning model. And then it arrives at decisions. Now, who sequences all these things and who trains the AI? It's actually human beings at the end who are actually, putting all these together. So there's also, so while on one side you can say that AI is great, you actually heard, Manish saying that, Manish and Raj and everybody saying that, we have to be extremely serious about AI. Boards have to be serious about AI. If they're not serious about AI, they're probably not serious about their companies. You also heard another counterpoint because of this question saying that can we trust AI or is it just going to go explode? So I think, you heard a different set of views from a wide variety of audiences, including Jagan, Aparna. So it's now, I think, for all of you to discuss and decide as to whether we really need to debate AI in the boardroom or we leave it out. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ranjit, for hosting that fantastic panel. We really appreciated your valuable insights. I would now like to request Mr. Summers to come up on stage to felicitate Mr. Aditya with a memento. Mr. Summers, the editor of Cordially Talamara. Yes, thank you so much for your presence. Thank you so much, guests, for joining us this evening. Mr. Summers, if he's here, he's the editor of... Yeah. So now that our stage is all set, Mr. Summers, if you could please felicitate our guest, Mr. Aditya, with a memento. Mr. Summers is the editor of our sister concern, Cordially Talamara TV, and he's with Mr. Aditya. So as we roll into the final segment of our inaugural event of Cogni, we have Mr. Aditya Santanam. He's the co-founder and CTO at Cordially AI, who's our title sponsor for the event, and he'll be sharing some fascinating insights into the real-world applications of AI in decision making. So, Mr. Aditya, the stage is yours.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much, the Federal, and for this amazing opportunity. And it's such a pleasure to be here, and great conversations that we've had so far. So just to give you a quick idea about what Tunai AI is. So as Jagan mentioned in the last conversation, we're building something called a second brain. Right, and we've had so much fun, seriously building Tunai, and we'd love to showcase a small video as well. But proud to say this, we want to be like forerunners building great agentic products and platforms from Chennai, from Tamil Nadu for the world. So this is something that we take a great pride in delivering. And Tunai.ai, again, it basically brings in knowledge from different sources. So today we believe knowledge does not exist in one single area, right? So most of the knowledge that exists today is probably lying in your Teams, Zoom, and Google Meet, right? Rather than, the actual knowledge bases that you actually contain. Right, so in fact, Google Meet and Zoom or anywhere else, or in fact Slack or Discord probably has a lot more knowledge than any other platform today. Right, so that is something that we are trying to solve. We are trying to bring in the knowledge together, provide workflows and agents on top of it, so you can automate and or even run human in the loop for automating a lot of these tasks. And we are concentrating especially on support and sales to begin with, and we'd be happy to showcase a small demo here. And happy to answer any questions offline. Thank you.
Well, demonstration of the Thunai platform. Thunai functions as an AI companion, acting as a powerful brain in the background. It learns from your conversations, actions, and patterns, remembers what's important, and interacts like an intelligent teammate. Thunai also automates tasks that slow you down, allowing your team to concentrate on what truly matters. At its core, Thunai has an evolving brain. Now, let's delve into a quick demo to better understand the power of the Thunai brain. Let's consider a conversation regarding the product, InfoSign. Assume InfoSign is building something on its community platform, and a user needs assistance with InfoSign. Specifically, they are unable to log into their Linux VM using InfoSign's passwordless login. The user is trying to troubleshoot the issue from a support perspective. They mentioned that they are using the CLI on their local machine and registered the public key last week. The user can tag Thunai and ask the query directly in that particular group. If Thunai has encountered this problem before, it can provide a solution directly in the chat. Let's assume that the issue of public key rotation isn't directly addressed. Have you tried logging in since rotating your key? Sometimes, the CLI needs to re-authenticate following a key change. This returns a specific solution that should help users identify their problem more effectively. Let's suggest a fix for the key rotation issue. Running this particular bash command should rectify the problem. Once this is done, we should receive a specific output. If the output indicates that it's inactive, the problem should be resolved. Users can also re-upload a key by running a command directly on the InfoSign CLI. Now, we wait for user confirmation to ensure the solution works. Perfect. The problem is resolved. Thanks to Thunai, we've managed to solve this issue. Moreover, Thunai is learning from this entire conversation. Now, let's move on to another scenario. The power of Thunai's brain is truly remarkable. It can learn from everyday issues and conversations, much like the one we just had. Thunai was able to successfully absorb the information from our recent Slack conversation, incorporating it seamlessly into its knowledge base. This is made possible due to Thunai's application integration capability. It interfaces with over 60 applications and can connect with its brain to perform numerous actions, as demonstrated here, all from Slack and all automated. Isn't that impressive? We've seen how Thunai can effortlessly extract information from a Slack conversation and integrate it into its system. Now, let's explore how Thunai uses this information. Thunai applies this data across 3 distinct interfaces, or agents: chat, voice, and email. Each agent has access to Thunai's brain and an MCP portal. This portal can easily connect with all your workflows and enterprise applications. Now, let's examine an example of a Thunai voice agent.
Hi.
Hello, how can I help you today?
So I tried rotating my key last night, and once I did that, ever since, whenever I try to log into my InfySign CLI using a passwordless authentication method, it throws an alert saying authentication failed. Please retry.
I found some information that might help. After rotating your key, you might need to update your efficient CLI configuration with the new key. Also, ensure that the permissions for the new key are correctly set. Have you tried these steps? Or is this helpful?
No, this was really helpful, but can you create a ticket so someone can help me out with this?
I understand. Could you provide me your name, please?
Yeah, name is Aditya.
Could you provide me your email, please?
Email is aditya@entrance.io.
So that's aditya@entrance.io, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, Aditya, let me quickly check if there are any similar issues already reported before we create a new one. I didn't find any existing issues that exactly match yours. Let's go ahead and create a new one.
Okay.
I've raised the issue for you. Your reference ID is Scrum-49.
All right, sure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
No, that would be it. Thanks.
That brings us to the end of our brief interaction with the Thunai voice agent. Let's recap what we've just experienced. Thunai was able to provide specific information about key rotation, having learned from a previous Slack conversation. It was able to take the knowledge gained from that conversation and provide a specific solution. Moreover, when asked to create a new ticket, Thunai was fully capable of doing so. If you noticed, Thunai can also accomplish this using its screen share feature. Now, we will showcase how it managed to navigate to Jira and create a new ticket. Let's take a closer look at the Thunai's agent configuration screen. As you can see, Thunai offers a detailed summary of the recent conversation. It effectively captures the main issue regarding the rotation of the key. In addition, it provides a comprehensive log of the entire process. It was capable of checking the ticket, something the agent mentioned during the call. It's important to note that this automated workflow took place while we were on the call, awaiting the return of the Jira ticket. And here is the Jira ticket that was returned during the call. Continuing from our previous discussion, let's further explore the fascinating features of the Thunai platform. Imagine your contact center managing calls, either through human representatives or Thunai. The idea of achieving 100% quality control, QC, was once considered a far-fetched dream. Now, let's shift our focus to this dashboard. Here, you have the ability to effortlessly integrate Thunai from various sources, such as an S3 bucket, a blob, or any configuration. All your calls are uploaded here. Let's select one of the calls. This specific call offers an in-depth analysis of the call details, action items, and next steps in an easy-to-understand language. It also includes sentiment analysis and call score analysis. But why is 100% QC crucial? It's not about putting your current team under the microscope, but about identifying gaps in your support system, understanding customer needs, and comparing them with your deliverables. It enhances the intelligence of your existing system. Now, let's take a look at this call score analysis. The call score matrix is fully customizable and provides engagement metrics. Thunai delivers detailed insights into customer experience, engagement, and rapport building. Thunai doesn't just identify what went right or wrong, it also suggests improvements. All this information is readily available and is updated almost immediately after each call. Moreover, Thunai offers a clean metrics dashboard, providing automatic analysis and number crunching. It includes a call trend chart, call score insights, and automatic categorization of calls. It also displays meetings by sentiment and language, and if no language difference is detected, it remains blank. Thunai also automatically generates tags, making it easier to identify the number and occurrences of each tag. In conclusion, this is what modern contact center intelligence looks like. It's extensively used by L1 and L2 support companies to better understand their market signals. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching this. So this, video that you just saw was primarily for L1 and L2. And just a heads up, I mean, we've been working with a lot of Fortune 500 clients, automating their entire support process, starting with L1 and also providing L2 support intelligence using the Thunai Brain. Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thanks much, Aditya. That was quite fascinating to have a ringside view of what Thunai is doing in the AI space. Well, that's a wrap up for inaugural edition of Cordially. But do remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is just the beginning. There is more your way in the coming months. To formally conclude today's event, I would like to call upon our business manager, Mr. Johnson, to deliver the word of thanks.
Good evening all. It is an honor to stand before you today as we conclude this insightful event, Cordially, the boardroom series hosted by the Federal. This gathering has been a remarkable exchange of ideas shaping the future of AI in leadership and decision making. First, a heartfelt thank you to Mr. S. Srinivasan, Editor-in-Chief of the Federal, for spearheading this initiative and fostering meaningful discussions on AI's evolving role in the boardroom. As special acknowledgement to our partners, Madras Management Association, our esteemed renewed partner, for providing such a wonderful setting for this event. Thank you, sir. Thunai AI, our title sponsor, for their invaluable support, and the Neural, our knowledge partner, for bringing deep expertise to the conversations today. We extend our sincere appreciation to our esteemed speakers for their invaluable insights. Mr. Dinesh Varadarajan, Chief Product Officer, Cristro, your fireside chat provided deep insights to AI's strategic impact. Mr. Jagan Silvaraj, CEO of Thunai AI, Aparna TA, Head of Enterprise IT Solutions at Manage Engine Zoho, Mr. Manish Bafna, SVP of Engineering and Responsive, and Mr. Raj Babu, Founder of CEO of Aglishan Labs. Your panel discussions have illuminated the path forward for AI integration business strategy. To our moderator, Mr. Ranjit, Founder of the Neural, his guidance ensured engaging and thought-provoking conversation throughout the event. Thank you, sir. A special appreciation to Mr. Aditya Sandhanam, co-founder of Thunai AI, for his lightning presentation showcasing real-world applications of AI in decision-making. We also acknowledge the dedicated team at the Federal for the seamless execution and meticulous planning, ensuring a smooth and impactful experience for all. We also thank our Pudyathalamurai team for seamless execution, technical setup, and dedicated camera crew for on-ground setup. Finally, to our esteemed audience, CXOs, strategists, and AI enthusiasts, your participation and engagement have made this event truly impactful. Let us take forward today our learnings and today continue shaping AI's role in leadership with responsibility and innovation. Thank you all, and we look forward to many more such interesting discussions in the future. Thank you.